Hello guys, how are you today? So today I'll be explaining the Math AMS of Term 2, Week 3. So let's start. First thing we start with is question 1. The figure above shows the graph of a cubic function f. Which of the following would be the equation of this function where k is a constant? Okay, by looking at this, the only thing we can do in such a case is by looking, you can find easily the x-intercept. Now the x-intercept means x equals, so the y has to be equal to 0, but the x has to be equal to a number. In this case, when you look at the x-intercept, you will find it is minus 3. So we come back here and we need to see which of the following could be a possible equation for this function. We know our x-intercept is minus 3. So what we need to do is that we need to solve these, okay? And we need to see, is our x-intercept equal to minus 3 or not? Now, if we start with the first one, we're gonna take x plus 3, make it equal to 0, x equals to minus 3. This is possible, but you don't stop here, you have to continue. So, x squared plus 9 is equal to 0, x squared is equal to minus 9. Is this possible? No, for now it is impossible to solve it. So here we are left with x is equal to minus 3. This is a possible answer, so I'm gonna choose it for now. Moving on to the second one, x minus 3 times x squared minus 9. So x minus 3 is equal to 0, x is equal to 3. x squared minus 9 is equal to 0, x squared is equal to 9, x is equal to plus or minus 3. Now, even though we have minus 3 as an option, it should be the only possible option. So this is wrong because it has another option other than minus 3. Now we move on here. We're gonna solve it. You get x is equal to 3 and x squared is equal to minus 9. Not possible to solve for now. And then x is equal to 3. We don't want this. We want x to be equal to minus 3, so we don't take this. Now this one, when you solve it, you're gonna get x plus 3 equals to 0. X is equal to minus 3. Then why don't we choose it? Because it is to the third power. That means it has 3 roots, 3 possible roots. So at the third power, we do not take it. It always has to be to the first power. Okay? And root has to be equal to the x-intercept. Now, if we move to question number 2, they need us to know which of the following could be equal to theta, because they told us sine theta is equal to radical 3 or 2. Very simply, what we're going to do is we are gonna have to memorize a table of the sine, which is this table over here. Now, if you look, you can get 60 degrees. The sine of 60 degrees is radical 3 over 2. And then the sine of 120 degrees is also radical 3 over 2. So, what we are gonna do now is we're gonna open this and we are going to substitute every single pi by 180. So then we get minus 180 divided by 3, we get minus 60. Was minus 60 one of our answer options over here? No, it wasn't, so we are not going to take it. So please, guys, memorize this table. It's very useful for especially this question since no calculators are allowed. Now, in the second part, we have substitute pi by 180. 180 divided by 3 gives us 60. So yes, it is a possible answer. We are going to take it. Now, 7 times 180 divided by 3. That leaves us with 7 times 60, which is 420 degrees. But you may be questioning, is this correct? I didn't see on the table anything that is 420 degrees. You should know that whenever we are dealing with sine, whatever angle we get, for example, 60 degrees, if you add 360 to it, which is 420, this answer is also correct because it is a full revolution. So, in this case, again, we get 7 times 180 divided by 3 is equal to 420. Now, how do you know if it's correct? You do 60 plus 1 revolution, which is 360, and you are going to get 420. Whether it's 60 or 120, because 120 plus 360 is 480. So 480, if you get it as an answer, is also correct. If we try this one, minus 2 pi over 3, we are going to get minus 360 divided by 3, which is minus 120. Minus 120 was not an option. And then finally 2 pi over 3, substitute the pi by 180, so that gives us 360 divided by 3, which is 120. So yes, it was an option. Now we move on to question number 3. They need to know which of the following has a graph that is symmetric about the origin. We said symmetric about the origin means it is odd. To find out if it's odd, very simply, we just need to substitute by a number. So let's say 1, and then the opposite of that number, which is negative 1. So first thing, if you substitute by 1, you're going to get 1 to the power of 3 divided by 1 squared plus 1. So that's 1 divided by 2, so half. If you substituted minus 1, that becomes minus 1 to the power of 3 divided by minus 1 squared plus 1. Solving it, you're going to get minus 1 divided by 2. Now, if you multiply this by a negative number, minus 1, like if you multiply it by minus, no need for the 1, you are going to get 1 over 2. So that gives us that fx, which is 1 over 2, is equal to minus f of minus x. So yes, definitely this is an odd function. If we move here and you put 1 in the beginning, you're going to have 1 divided by 1 squared plus 2 times 1. So that's 1 over 3. However, if you put minus 1, you're going to have minus 1 divided by minus 1 squared plus 2 times minus 1, which is then minus 1 divided by minus 1, which is 1. If you multiply this by minus, you're going to get 1 over 3 is equal to minus 1. This doesn't make sense, so definitely this is not an odd function. If we move to the next one, okay, and we substitute 1 again, you are going to have 1 squared over 1 squared plus 1, so that's 1 over 2. If you substitute minus 1, it's going to be minus 1 squared over minus 1 squared plus 1, which is also 1 over 2. So since they are the same for both 1 and minus 1, that means it's an even function, so we do not choose it. For the next one, we are going to substitute 1, so 2 times 1 over 1 to the power of 2 plus 1. So that is 2 divided by 2, which is 1. If we substitute minus 1, that is 2 to the power of minus 1 divided by minus 1 to the power of 2 plus 1. So it's going to give us minus 2 divided by 2, which is minus 1. If we multiply this by negative, we are going to get 1 is equal to 1. So yes, definitely this is an odd function. Now, for the last one, we're going to substitute 1. 1 over 1 squared plus 1 is equal to 1 over 2. And then a minus 1 over minus 1 squared plus 1 is minus 1 over 2. If you multiply it by minus, you are then going to get 1 over 2. And since these two are equal, so that means it is an odd function. If we move on to question number 4, which of the following has a graph that is symmetric about the y-axis? Symmetric about the y-axis means it is even, so we have to look for which one is even. For even, we're going to take, for example, 1 and minus 1. We're going to substitute it, and if it gives us the same answer, then directly we know it is even. So starting off, here, we're going to have 1 over 1 squared plus 2 times 1, so that's 1 over 2. And if we put minus 1, it's going to be minus 1 over minus 1 squared plus 2 times minus 1, which is then 1. So definitely these are not the same answer, so it's not even. We do not choose it. Moving on to this one over here, we are going to try 1. 1 to the power of 3 divided by 1 squared plus 1. It is equal to 1 divided by 2. Minus 1 to the power of 3. Divided by minus 1 squared plus 1, this is minus 1 over 2. They are not the same, so we do not choose it. Moving on now to this one. Let's start with 1 actually. 1 divided by 1 squared plus 1 is equal to 1 over 2. Minus 1 divided by minus 1 squared plus 1 is equal to minus 1 over 2. So they are not equal, we do not choose them. Now we move on to this one over here. 1 divided by 1 squared plus 1 is equal to 1 over 2. And then 1 divided by minus 1 squared plus 1 is equal to also 1 over 2. So yes, they are equal, so this is an even function. Now if we try for this one, it is 1 squared divided by 1 squared plus 1, which is also 1 over 2. Then minus 1 squared divided by minus 1 squared plus 1, which is also 1 over 2. So yes, they are both equal, and we choose it as an even function. We're moving on to question number 5. The scatter plot below shows the average grade on a math test during a given week versus the number of hours spent watching TV during this week. So the line of best fit is also drawn. The teacher assigned a letter for each of the students who took the test as shown below. The correlation in the scatter diagram is, if you look at it, it is a strong, because the line is not curved, it's just a straight line, so it's strong, and it is negative because it's descending, going down. Now, if the number of hours is represented by x and the average by y, then the equation of the line is this x plus 4y is equal to this. So very simply, what we're going to do is we're going to take the basic equation of any line, which is y is equal to ax plus b. Alright, and we need to find a, which is the slope. So we're going to take 2 points, for example, 90, 12, and 60, 20. So then it's going to become 90 minus 60 divided by 12 minus 20, which is 30 divided by minus 8, which is then minus 15 over 4. So very simply, we're going to substitute it in a. So y is equal to minus 15 over 4x plus b. If we go down, we will see that it is 4y. So for it to be 4y, okay, we're going to rewrite the equation, which is y is equal to minus 15 over 4x plus b. Okay, for it to be 4y, that means we have to multiply everything by 4. So now 4y is equal to minus 15x plus b. They said they moved the minus 15x to the other side, so 15x plus 4y is equal to, my bad, I forgot the 4b, is equal to 4b. Okay, and this is how our equation looks like. Now, very simply, what we're going to do is we're going to choose any random point. For example, the x is 20 and the y is 60, and we are going to substitute it. So then, it becomes 15 times 20 plus 4 times 60 is equal to 4b. So it is then 300 plus 240, which is then 540. So 4b is 540. We do not simplify it because they want it like this. Now, when do we simplify it? We simplify it when they want y as 1. So it's 1y. When they tell you 1 is y, then yes, you simplify it. But in this case, no, they want it as 4y, so we're going to keep it like this. So to substitute it, we're going to put 15 over here and 540 over here. Now, based on the line of best fit, the expected score for a person who spends 12 hours watching TV during the week, we're going to come here. 12 hours, he will get an average score of 90. Now, the modal letter grade. The modal means the most occurring grade. If you see, where are the most dots? The most dots are in between 80 and 90. So in between 80 and 90, we're going to come here. We're going to see the modal grade, or the modal letter grade is then B. So that's it for question number 5. Moving on to question number 6, they need to know what is the value of k if secant squared x minus 22 tangent x plus 20 is equal to 0. One thing I will tell you, whenever we have secant, we have to have another secant. Whenever we have tangent, we have to have another tangent. So in this case, we have secant and tangent. It's not gonna work out. So based on the rules we know, you know that secant squared is equal to 1 plus tangent squared. So which one can we change? Can we change the tan or the secant squared? We can definitely change the secant squared. So then it's gonna be 1 plus tangent squared x minus 22 tangent of x plus 20 is equal to 0. Then if you bring the 1 over here, it's gonna be tangent squared x minus 22 tangent x plus 20. Now what do? We solve it like product sum. So this next to it is 1. The product in this case is gonna be not 20, sorry, it is 21. So forget the 20, it is 21. So now the product is going to be 1 times 21, which is 21. And the sum is going to be this number over here, which is minus 22. Now, to get a product of 21 and a sum of minus 22, we have to do minus 21 multiplied by minus 1, and then minus 21 plus minus 1. So definitely it is going to be, after solving it, x minus 21, and then x minus 1. Now, to solve it, okay, what we are going to do is we are going to make each one equal to 0. So x is equal to 21 or x is equal to 1. They gave us one of the values, which is tangent x is equal to 1 or tangent x is equal to k. We got the other value, which is then 21. If we move on to question number 7, here the symmetric image about the origin of the point. The origin, symmetric, means it is odd. And whenever we are discussing about odd, both the x and y are going to change. So their signs are going to change. So if it's minus 6, it becomes 6. Minus 8 becomes 8. If we move on to question number 8, they're asking for the vertical asymptote. The vertical asymptote means x. And whenever we're looking for the vertical asymptote of x, we need to solve the denominator. So for x minus 40 is equal to 0. For x is equal to 40, x is equal to 10. So very simply, our answer is 10. Now, number 9 is really important. Please pay attention. The horizontal asymptote. Every time they are asking for the horizontal asymptote, we will be needing to divide both of the numbers that contain x. So it is always in the format of ax plus b over cx plus d. Whenever they're asking for the horizontal asymptote, it is ax over cx. Anytime they are asking for the vertical asymptote, it is cx plus d is equal to 0. If they are asking you for the y-intercept, it is b over d. If they are asking you for the x-intercept, then it is ax plus b is equal to 0. So please remember this. Alright, horizontal asymptote is ax over cx, vertical asymptote is cx plus d is equal to 0, y-intercept is b over d, x-intercept is ax plus b is equal to 0. So the horizontal asymptote is going to be 8x divided by 2x, which is 4. The vertical asymptote is going to be 2x minus 4 is equal to 0, so 2x is then equal to 4, so x is then equal to 2. Now the y-intercept, we said to find the y-intercept we're going to divide, so 120 divided by minus 4 is minus 30. So then the y-intercept is minus 30, and now it crosses the x-axis, which means the x-intercept, we're going to solve 8x plus 120 is equal to 0, 8x is equal to minus 120, so then x is equal to minus 15. So then it crosses at minus 15. Moving on to question number 10, they said symmetric about the y-axis. That means it's even. And when it is even, only the x changes its sign. The y does not change its sign. So minus 6 becomes 6 and minus 8 stays minus 8. If we move on to question number 11, it's another one of the solving. And here what we need to know is that sine squared is equal to 1 minus cosine squared. Okay. So we have 1 plus sine x. We have sine and cosine squared. So which one can we change? Can we change the sign? No, we cannot find a relation in sine and cosine. But we can find a relation with the sine squared and the cosine squared. So very simply, let us first move the cosine squared to the other side. It's going to be cosine squared x plus sine x plus 1. Then switch the cosine squared with the sine squared. So another way of writing it is that cosine squared is equal to 1 minus sine squared. So we can change the cosine squared x into 1 minus sine squared x plus sine x plus 1. You bring this to the other side, you're gonna add them. So minus sine squared x plus sine x plus 1 plus not 1 plus 2 is then equal to 0. But remember, always the first one's supposed to be positive. So to make it positive, we're going to multiply the whole thing by minus 1. And then we're going to get sine squared x minus sine x minus 2. Then we do the product sum method. Here next to it is 1, here this is minus 1. So the product is 1 times minus 2, which is minus 2, and the sum is minus 1. So very simply, it is minus 2 times 1, and then minus 2 plus 1. So x minus 2 is equal to 0, or like if you want to write it as a factor, it becomes x minus 2 times x plus 1. But then solving it, you're going to get x is equal to 2, and then x is equal to minus 1. So x is minus 1 is already an answer. X is equal to k, we need to find k. We got 2 as an answer for k. If we move on to question number 12, this is also one of the things we have. We know that cosine squared is equal to 1 minus sine squared. They gave us sine x, but us, we need sine squared x. So very simply, you are going to square this, and it's going to become 9 over 25. Now, they need cosine squared x. We have sine squared x, which is 9 over 25. So to find cosine squared x, you're going to do 1 minus 9 over 25. And you are then going to get, if you want to solve it, it becomes 25 over 25 minus 9 over 25, which is then 16 over 25. So over here, the value of k is 16. Moving on to number 13. Okay, tangent x is equal to 7 over 5. What is the value of x if secant squared x is equal to k over 25? What we need to know is that secant squared x is equal to 1 plus tangent squared x. Okay, we have tangent x, we're supposed to square it, and here we are going to get 49 over 25. Now we need the secant squared x, so that becomes 1 plus tangent squared x. So 1 plus 49 divided by 25, so that's 25 over 25 plus 49 over 25, and that gives us 74 divided by 25. So the value of k is then 74. Now we move on to question number 14. Here we know that cosine squared x is equal to 1 minus sine squared x. We have sine squared x and we have cosine squared x here. We need the value of 160 cosine squared x. If sine squared x is 3 over 8, very simply, it's going to be 160 times 1 minus sine squared x. So 160 times 1 minus 3 over 8. So 1 minus 3 over 8 becomes 5 over 8. So 160 multiplied by 5 over 8, which is then 20 times 5, which is 100. So very simply, the answer over here is 100. And now the final question is this scatter plot. It displays the score 12 students obtained on the test versus the number of hours spent studying on each. Based on the line of best fit, they need what exam score is predicted for a student who studies 7 hours. First thing we need to know is that it is skipped by 8. So this is 8, then 24, then 40, then 56, then 64, then 72, then 80, then 88, then 96, and so on. So they said they need at 7 hours approximately how much a student is gonna get. He's gonna get approximately 88. So if he studies for 7 hours, he will get a score of 88. Let's submit. And thank God there are no mistakes. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.